Guys, we have a great pawn chats in store. I'm so excited, but before we start talking to our great guest, I have a sponsor, and that is Bong Water Beverage Company. Bong Water is a THC-infused drink designed to hit you fast. It tastes great. It's in Minnesota, Oklahoma, Missouri, Kansas, Texas, Wisconsin. If you're in those great states, check it out. You must be 21 years of age or older to consume in Minnesota. If you live outside of those states, visit bongwaterbeveragecompany.com. Find out if they're coming to your state soon. And I'm excited. We have quite an interesting guest here today. This is Mr. Ugo Pergo. He is ItalianCoins. We've done business together. I met him through Whatnot. He's a Whatnot seller. He's a numismatist. He has a social media page, and he's got quite an interesting background. Ugo, how you doing?
I'm doing great. A little sleepy, but I'm good.
Story of owning your own business. You're doing nothing but working, but you do a lot more than own your own business. And I guess you could call it that because you're a numismatist and coin seller, coin dealer, but you're also a molecular biologist and you teach. What a fascinating combo of occupations. And I kind of thought you were kidding because I learned this. So on Whatnot, you can do a thing after your auction is done. It's called a raid, where you can take everybody in your auction and you go jump in somebody else's auction, and it incentivizes whoever's holding the other auction. They'll direct whoever's in their auction to follow you, and it helps other people, especially when you have a bigger name like myself coming into. Yours wasn't small, but we did a raid, and I ended up, I think I spent like $300 or $400 with you, and we ended up covering Vatican and papal coins as a result of the coins that I bought from Ugo. Let's talk about coins. Let's talk about your history with coins, your numismatist career. How'd you get into it? And let's kind of go from there.
I started when I was a very young kid. None in my family was a coin collector, but my grandfather, who fought World War II, had some coins from about that era, between the Mussolini time. Mm-hmm. And they were all silver. And somehow those coins end up to me, from my grandfather to me. And there weren't that many. They were beautiful, they were nice. They were, for a kid to have something that was silver in your hand, you made me feel like, wow, this is something, I'm rich, I grew up in a time where there was no silver in coins. And so for me to think that there was coins that contained silver was something that was a little bit of an eye-opening. And so during those years, I remember my friends were trying to buy beer and cigarettes, when we were teenagers, 15, 16 years old. Instead, I would spend all the money from Christmas money, birthday money. I would go to the local coin shop and buy whatever thing I could afford. In fact, I was about 50. I'm 52 now. When I was about 16, 17 is when I bought my first Panda, my first ASC, my first Libertad. And it's not that I bought a lot after that, because of college and marriage, I had to slow down and pace myself. But that's where it started, my love for coins. I was very attentive about buying coins rather than wasting money on other things.
And where did you grow up?
So I was born in Milan, Italy. Okay, that's the biggest city in Italy, in the northern part of Italy. And I lived most of my life around that area until about 21 years old. That's when I moved to the States the first time. And I lived 2 years in California. Then I went back for about a year. Then I went back to Utah to study. And I was there for about 15 years. I was in Utah for 15 years. I got 2 degrees there, a bachelor degree, a master's degree in Utah in sciences. Met my wife in school. My 5 kids were born there, and I did my first job there as a researcher, got my PhD in genetics during those years in Utah. And then I went back to Italy for 10 years and lived in Rome. And that's where I fell in love with Vatican. I was at the Vatican maybe every other week, it's very interesting places. I fell in love with history, with the history of Rome. And I felt like coins, in my mind, coins are little tiny books made of metals that tell the history, the socioeconomic situation, the flora, the fauna, the politics of different countries, all in a little coin. And if you know how to read them, there are beautiful stories that can be told. And what a beautiful place, Rome, the eternal city, a city that is 2,600 years old. regain myself with the love for history and revisit that love for coin that I started when I was a young kid. And then 3 years ago, I moved back to Illinois. I moved back to the States, and now I live in Illinois.
Yeah, I often use the hashtag when I'm making videos, coins are history, because they truly are. It is a great representation of the people, not just the actual history of what's going on at the time, but you get the motifs for the mentality of the people as well. So what would you say, do you have a favorite coin or a favorite area of study of coins? Mine personally is Morgan silver dollars, because I'm following in my dad's footsteps, except for going to federal prison.
I never heard of Morgans until about when I came to Whatnot in 2022. Was my first time that I ever heard of a Morgan silver dollar. I knew the only United States coin I knew of in Italy was the ASC and the American silver dollars and the Kennedy halves. Those were the only one that I knew something about it that crossed my path. Besides that, I knew nothing about old coins or older coins in the United States. But again, I didn't know anything about Morgan. Right now, as we speak, I'm waiting for 29 Morgans being graded at PCGS, just to tell you how much I changed in a year and a half.
And I guess then that introduces my next question. How often do you send coins in to get graded?
About every 3 months, 4 months. I kind of wait for a batch to come back. Again, this is a hobby. I want everybody to know that this is just a hobby for me. I spend more time on this hobby than I do on anything else, including my full-time job. But I wanted to make sure that people understand this is a hobby. So I'm not a large-scale collector. I do what I pace myself and whatever I can afford, including grading. So I do send about 60 to 100 coins to be graded every 3 or 4 months, and I wait for them to be graded and come back because I learn from the grading process. So when I get my coins back and I look at them, I can see and understand better what is the grader looking into the coin, why he gave it a particular grade. What did I see that wasn't there, and what did the grader see that I didn't see, And so I hope for those batches to come back, and most of them I send them to keep, although I have a weak spot, which is I don't want to be preachy or spiritual or anything with this, but coin is an interesting passion to have because basically you become attached to worldly possession, silver and gold, right? And I like that very much, but I don't want that to become my driving desire in life. You know what I'm saying? And so when people see a coin that I have and are willing to pay the right price for it, it's hard for me to sell it, but I do that to put myself to test. If I can let that coin go that I want to keep, I feel like I'm passing the test of not being too attached to earthly possession. Does that make sense? Does it make any sense?
Yeah, and especially I personally am having that issue right now because I have so much inventory. I have so much stuff that I put away since I opened up my store 3 years ago. Like but it's causing me money problems because I just want to put away everything, and it's like you can't do that, and I'm forcing myself to sell off some of my stuff because it's just there's no need for me to be in this crunch just because I want to keep all these coins, even though I think they're going to go up in value. It's not behooving me, and it's hard to let go sometimes.
I don't even care about the money that comes in for selling the coin. The pain to let the coin go is greater than the satisfaction of the money that comes in to pay for that coin. That's how it is for me. And then the only reason I can see money as a positive thing is that allow me to buy more coins.
Well, if you're getting enjoyment out of it, then who cares? And it sounds like you're getting plenty of enjoyment out of it.
Of course, I have coins I buy to resell. I have coins that I buy to keep for a while, and I have coins that I want to keep for a very long time. So there are different groups. So in my head, I have a compartment for a certain type of coin, another one. So when I send in coins to grade, I send coins that I think are very beautiful, and then I like to preserve them and keep them in these holders, and I learn in that process, and I have subscription with PCGS, with NGC. I send some to Annex as well. It's a fascinating concept, the one of grading. It's a very much American concept.
Well, it's capitalism through and through. It assesses a value. People are doing it mostly to make money. I mean, what you just said is the right answer in terms of
this is how you should appreciate the hobby and you're learning from it, not, I hope it scores a 68 so I can make so much. Yeah, no. I mean, that's kind of me, but...
My mentality is a coin, and that's how I buy too. A coin is worth what you're willing to pay for that coin, period.
Right. What grading service do you prefer? Do you have one you prefer over the others?
They all different to me. Like I learn to think that NGC does a better job with foreign coins.
It seems to be what everyone thinks.
But not toners. They do a terrible job, I think, with toners. In fact, I overheard through the grapevine that they're actually going to become more and more stringent with toning. And I have a perfect example where I sent these two beautiful coins. Let me show you one of them. These are raw, but that is the coin I sent in. And it's just a spectacular coin. Here it is. And I sent two of them, and I bought them from Italy, which, by the way, in Italy, toning is viewed as a negative thing for a coin. To think that somebody would mess up with a coin and do artificial toning in Italy so that they would be more prettier is wrong, because it's against the mentality of those people. They do not like toning in Italy. Between a coin with toning and the same coin without toning, the coin without toning is worth more money to them. It's more valuable. So I had two coins from San Marino that look something like that. I don't know if you can see the blue toners on it.
Yeah, I can see it.
You know, I sent two of them, same year, same coin, bought from the same individual in Italy. One came back as an MS66, and the other one came back as artificial toning. And they had two consecutive numbers on the slabs, which means that most likely were viewed by the same graders, grader or graders. And so why would one be artificial? Same exact toning, and one guy an MS66. Makes no sense to me. So anyway, that kind of inconsistency. PCGS is the place I would send tone coins and United States coins. All my Morgans right now are with PCGS. And then I sent to Annex weird coins that I don't want to spend a lot of money for them to be graded, but I think would be nice to see them in a little slab. So I say maybe like 1 out of 10 coins, 1 out of 20 coins. I send it to Annex.
Tell me about how did you get on Whatnot? How long have you been on there? How's the platform working for you? Tell us a little bit about your auctions, because it's literally half of my multi-million-dollar business.
I did eBay before, and I did eBay in the United States. Then I went to Italy, so I had to someone move my account between countries, because eBay has its own different platform in each country, right? So I went from ebay.com to ebay.it, and I kept my credentials so that I would still have my reviews, the positive feedback. And then I moved back to the States and moved it back. And I think somehow at some point eBay got very suspicious about me moving between countries or changing my account. Whatever that is, they blocked my account. I tried to reopen it, they blocked it again. I called customer service. They did not want to tell me what I did wrong, which I felt was very weird, because I felt like I was totally doing what they asked me to do. I was doing this. I didn't do anything wrong. I didn't say anything I was not supposed to be doing. I didn't violate anything. And the fact that I did not want to disclose what I did wrong kind of, I told myself I'm done with eBay. So I started looking at other platforms. And as I was looking for platform, I started watching reels and videos of people like you that are very successful in selling on platform. And one of these guys were telling how he went to garage sales, and then he was selling on Whatnot. And I was like, I never heard of Whatnot. And so he had a link in his video, and so that's what I got it. That was June of 2022, so about a year, almost 2 years ago this June. And Whatnot, as you know, is a community. Back then was also small enough that you could really get to know people a little bit, and using the chat to talk and discuss. And I had a few phone conversations with a couple of individuals, and so I applied to be a seller. I already had quite a bit of a collection of coins that accumulated through the year, and I had items that I was interested in moving and perhaps getting some money from those items to buy other coins that I was more interested in. And it really didn't start like right now I stream about 3-4 times a week. And my kids with me almost every Saturday. I have a 12 and a 14 years old that are getting into coins. And on Saturday, we do a stream together, the three of us, and they get to sell their own coins for $1, $2, their little collections. And people have been sending coins to them as gift for them to sell and make a few dollars. And it's very interesting to spend this family time, with my kids to see that. But now I've been a seller since November of 2022. Basically, I model my streams after guys like you, and then I my things is foreign coins. That's basically the difference between me and these other individuals.
It seems like though you're selling kind of a lot for somebody that's just doing it as a hobby. I mean, you must really enjoy it.
Well, I buy a lot, but it's hard. The hardest things for me is to find the type of inventory that I like. It's like food to me, which, by the way, for Italians, food is very important. So I live my coin passion the same way I live with food. I would not buy anything that I do not like. So I do not have people usually that walk into a store like happened to you, and sometimes you buy things because you think there is an intrinsic value, you can make some money out of it, but that wouldn't be something that you most likely went out and bought yourself. It kind of comes to you. No one really comes to me. Very few people do, and I, to me, it's going out and finding the one coin I want to find. It's almost like a one coin at a time type of things, And during 2023, I've been to 4 or 5 major coin shows, which I've never done before in my life, because again, it would be too much of an investment to pay for hotel and airplane and food to go to a coin show, a national coin show, just for a hobby, right? But next year, with Vanguard and other people, we team up, we rent a bed and breakfast, we share the same place, we cut down on costs, use frequent flyer miles to go there. But I learned how to navigate in coin shows. I tried to go to some coin shops. I went to this coin shop in St. Louis, I think it was St. Louis or Columbia, I can't remember, in Missouri. And I asked this guy, do you have any foreign coins? And he says, no, straight, dry, immediately, didn't even think about it. So I could have just walked out and everything. I start chatting with him, kind of just like, hey, well, you got some cool stuff, can I see that? Can I see that? It was all United States coin. I wasn't interested in buying any of those. And then when he warmed up to me, he went into his safe and he came out with some beautiful Cuban pesos.
I love
Oh my gosh, they were beautiful. They were $200, $250 coin each. I knew that. I didn't say that to him. I knew that's what they were worth it, and I walk out with them and I pay $25 each, on these coins. But it's interesting to me how the first thing he said was no, he didn't have them. I don't know why, but that's very often what happens to me, that people would say, I don't have any. And then in reality, they do. They just are not confident enough to sell them. And they will sell them to me only if they get to know me.
Shifting gears here, we don't have a whole lot of time left. Tell us a little bit about your molecular biology background. Obviously, you're a smart guy if you're doing that. They don't let dumb people do that.
Well, I don't know if I'm a smart guy. I'm a guy that likes to take chances, and that was a beautiful opportunity. But here is the catch, okay? And that's how it connects to coins. At the end, the foundation is all the same. So my background is in genetics, but specific application of genetics. I don't do diseases. I don't do pharmaceutical. I use DNA to trace the history of populations. Okay, so I study and I work on projects that have to do with ancient DNA. It's called like archaeogenetics. It's the use of DNA to trace the history of mankind. And so the way that it ties in is that I use basically DNA to study history. Okay, recent histories, like the last couple hundred years, history of individuals, people that are trying to reconstruct their family history, and ancient history, how populations are related with each other and ancient migrations. And that's just, I've done several publications with people much smarter than me. And that's how you learn, they always say, if you're the smarter guy in the room, get out. And so that's just my field. Now, I did that for a number of years, and then I spent a few years, about a decade in Italy as an educator, teaching others how to teach. But at the same time, I was very much involved with Roman history. I was giving tour, and now I'm kind of like semi-retired. All right, I'm 52, but I moved back here. My wife is from the Midwest. She always wanted to come back and live here. I had an opportunity with a local college to teach science, biology, microbiology. And I do that from 8 in the morning to 3 p.m. And then the rest of the day is coins.
What is your oldest coin you have in your collection?
See, oldest is not the right question because I do not like old coins. You know, I do sell some Roman coins or Greek coins, when I happen to have them around, when they're part of an estate or a lot, and I bring them in. I graded a few of them with Annex. But the point is, there are so many, and it's a totally different field, to study and understand.
Yeah, just not to interrupt you, but like right here in my hand, I have a Western Roman Empire Valentinian II, AD 375 to 392. And the thing is with these ancient coins,
My God, there's such little detail on them.
Yeah.
Almost always are like this. They're so worn down. It's like, if you can see the outline of a face, period.
listen, Ugo, I'm gonna let you go. I actually got to set up for my Whatnot auction, which is going to be taking place in about 25 minutes. Tell the good people here where they can find you and where they can do business with you.
Well, I'm on ItalianCoins on Whatnot. That's my name. And then on Instagram, I'm ItalianCoins1.
You guys, he's got great coins. His auctions are a lot of fun. He teaches quite a lot too about numismatics. You don't have to buy these coins to be present and learning and having fun. Follow Ugo ItalianCoins on Whatnot. Follow him on Instagram. Fascinating member of the coin community, great resource, and thank you for having me. And again, thank you guys, Bongwater Beverage Company, sponsoring this auction. Check it out, links in the video description. All right, there's another great pawn chats. Thanks, Ugo.
Thank you very much. You have a good day. Evan, right?
Evan, yes, sir.
All right, bye.
Thanks. I'll talk to you later.